A fair launch may take longer to build, our foundation, but longer to build, but our foundation will be solid. Build on real progress. Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, we don't have Luna problems or these big blockchain problems where they basically just kind of give out big fat checks to have progress or TVL or whatever other BS that they want, they think they can buy. All the progress that has happened on Ergo has been organic, and the strength of the community and the strength of the platform itself is a testament to that, to that organic growth. Just like, well, look, okay. And again, I don't like to really, crap on other blockchains or other projects unless they really deserve it. And I don't think this is crapping on them, but say Solana, for example, Solana, Solana's becomes kind of a special type of blockchain in the past few months because of their various new of quirks and whatnot. And I'll tell you the truth. Solana, when they just started, I actually thought it was kind of cool. I thought that they might have had a good idea. It could have developed into something good with enough time, with enough organic growth. Instead, what happened was it just caught on and people started dumping money into it and the price just blew up and all this money appeared out of nothing. And, and then it just started to artificially inflate. And, that's, you see the results of that. The reason I bring it up is because, like I said, I actually back in the day, and when my friends and colleagues can attest to that, I was saying that this is just when Solana got started. I was saying, hey, these guys might have something. This might be something interesting. But as soon as it started blowing up, I knew it was, at least in my eyes, it was over. It was just too much success too early on for really just not much actual substance. Ergo is the opposite. Ergo, we have lots of substance, and all of our success was begotten strictly by organic growth. We haven't had anybody pump billions of dollars into our ecosystem. We haven't had any, loud and beefy partnerships that are supposed to make numbers go up. Like, we sign a deal with Nike, we sign a deal with this. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that we haven't had it. We just had growth because we've been building. The ecosystem has been building, and that is sustainable. And when Ergo is up in the top 10, it's going to be because we got there organically, because we got there by building. And it's just a matter of time in my eyes. What do you think, Joe?
No, I remember back in the day when the idea behind a pre-mine was very controversial because it was opposed to this idea of distribution through work or some sort of let's say equal chance or risk, right? And then that really shifted to where then it was like, oh, well, we should give seniorage to developers. And, that was a pretty controversial, idea at the time because it was kind of opposed to this concept of fair distribution and distribution without work and giving a certain select group seniorage. And yeah, now it's become more and more and more and more of a popular concept because I don't know, it leans towards easy money and money printing. Proof of work in and of itself, that's one of the benefits, in my opinion, is that you have the cost of production and things are fairly, let's say, distributed based on work. But yeah, that's kind of an older concept, and then things kind of became about tokens and project tokens, and it kind of was downhill from, I think, where it started in terms of really looking at things on a high level and saying, okay, well, what is fair distribution? What is work? And how can we kind of make that a fair system? What do you think, Alex? You've been around a while, kind of seen that change.
Right, but my bad, I've forgotten the question. So, I mean, yeah. So
there isn't really a question. It's just basically about, just about the organic growth of the Ergo ecosystem and how, although a fair launch is harder to kind of get momentum for, it's built to last. The ecosystem is built to last.
Yeah, I see. But yeah, so it's growing, right? Unlike well, for example, Solana, right? So well, it was discovered well after the bull run already that the TVL was. So sorry, maybe my sound was lost, right? For half a minute. So yeah, Solana TVL was mostly faked, right? And yeah, I suspect that that was the case during the bull run for most of so-called blockchain projects. And yeah, and well, in case of Ergo, that wasn't the case because there were no even money printers, right, subsidizing, how was it called, liquidity farming.
Yeah.
Right, so I mean, then it's totally natural. Right, and yeah, and also in case of Solana, it seems that well, developers just faked, right? And yeah, in case of projects with liquidity farming, yeah, so it was often the case that yeah, VCs invested into a project actually well, faked, right, liquidity actually. So they did trade initially with each other, right, to draw good statistics and then dump on retail.
Yes.
Right, so it's kind of liquidity pre-mine actually, right? So.
Yeah.
And yeah, also with well, token grab that they did before the launch.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and well, I don't know well anything like that here in Ergo.